I'm Sabrina Zainal, and this is Nightline, the top stories. Malaysia-Indonesia confident in resolving border and labor issues. And tens of thousands return to devastated northern Gaza. Good morning. We begin with this story. Malaysia and Indonesia have expressed confidence that both nations will be able to resolve the various long-standing border and labor issues in an orderly and efficient manner. Both countries also intend to strengthen cooperation in the oil and gas sector involving Petronas and Pertamina. The agreement was stated by the Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim and Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto, who was on a state visit to Malaysia. The Indonesian president was accorded a state welcome at Istana Negara at the invitation of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim. It was followed by a closed-door meeting between Anwar and Prabowo at the Petronas Twin Towers. In a joint media conference, the Prime Minister said that the agreement will only be achieved if there is understanding, confidence and trust among the leaders and teams of both countries.
Komitmen kita untuk memastikan kerjasama Petronas dan Pertamina, dua syarikat minyak gergasi di rantau ini, supaya lebih sepakat untuk meneroka aliran baru dan juga bidang perdagangan baru.
Malaysia and Indonesia also agreed to use their strengths to boost cooperation in various fields, including defense. Prabowo expressed his confidence in Malaysia to solve various border and labor issues with Indonesia in an orderly way. He said it can be solved if the leaders have the political will to cooperate. Meanwhile, Prabowo said the good ties between Putrajaya and Jakarta need to be upheld. According to him, the ASEAN agreement enables member countries to work as a team in facing global challenges.
Kita sadar bahwa dunia sekarang penuh dengan ketegangan, ketidakpastian. Karena itu, pandangan-pandangan Malaysia dan Indonesia perlu kita konsultasi terus, perlu kita sinergikan terus bersama kawan-kawan dari ASEAN lainnya.
The one-hour meeting also touched on the tension in Gaza in support of efforts to achieve a permanent ceasefire. Earlier, Prabowo was also conferred the Darjah Kerabat Johor Yang Amat Dihormati Satu at Istana Negara. Through his social media post, Sultan Ibrahim said Prabowo is his close friend whom he had known for more than 40 years. Meanwhile, Anwar said the conferment of the award showed the privilege and uniqueness of the friendly relations between both countries.
Itu tanda persahabatan, kekeluargaan dengan keluarga Sultan Ibrahim Johor. Dan tentunya kita senang dengan perkembangan ini.
Saya juga diberi gelar tertinggi dari Kerajaan Johor, Sultanan Johor, yaitu gelar bintang kehormatan Darjah Kerabat Johor.
Lebih tinggi dari Datuk Seri.
With the Chinese New Year festivities less than 24 hours away, daily traffic volume on the country's major expressways is expected to surge significantly, up to 2.6 million vehicles heading to the East Coast, north and south, particularly during the festive period until this February 1st. We now join Nightline's Muhammad Nadir Asfar, who is in Sungai Buloh at this very moment, to give us the updates.
Now currently I'm at the Sungai Buloh R&R area along the North-South Expressway. Now I've been here since 8 p.m. earlier, and now as you can see, the traffic behind me is smooth and well under control. Now, as you've mentioned earlier, the increase in vehicles is also fueled by the government's recent announcement of a 50% toll discount applicable for all private vehicles for 2 days, effective from Monday until 11:59 p.m. on Tuesday. Now, this is applicable to all tolls nationwide, except for border toll plazas like the Sultan Iskandar building and Tanjung Kupang toll plazas connecting to Singapore. Now the toll reduction is a welcome relief, particularly during this Chinese New Year travel rush. Now earlier I had the opportunity to speak with highway users to hear their thoughts on the initiative. Now let's have a listen to what they have to say.
Previously it's free for us, right? But I think it doesn't matter lah, because the toll fee we supposed to pay, for a long time already. So recently government to pay for us for free, right? So free or 50%, I think it doesn't matter. Yeah,
we are celebrating Januari with our families. Yeah, Ipoh is actually our hometown. Yeah.
And you are from JB, are you studying or are you working?
We are working already. Yeah.
I'm from KL, going to go back to the Kampa actually, with my family to celebrate Chinese New Year.
Are there any family members in Kampa? Maybe your parents or your husband's parents?
My husband's parents. And then after that, went back to the Malacca.
Now, to ease the congestion, Plus Malaysia have implemented a number of contingency plans to handle the rise in traffic, namely the activation of smart lanes at 25 hotspots on the North-South Expressway, deployment of emergency response teams, and releasing its travel time advisory to help highway users to plan their trips. Now additionally, approximately 4,500 personnel, including toll staff, patrol officers, maintenance workers, and officers from the Malaysia Volunteer Corps Department are assigned to ensure smooth and safe travel for highway users. Highway users are also advised to maintain and ensure their vehicles are in good condition, as well as to be physically and mentally prepared for long journeys and to drive safely to their destinations. This is all I have for now. I'm Muhammad Nadir Asfar, reporting for Nightline TV3. Back to the studio.
Thank you so much for those updates, Nadir. And to ensure the safety and comfort of road users, more than 3,000 police personnel are assigned in conjunction with the 23rd Slamat, which kicks off on Tuesday, 2 February 2nd.
Kita mahu mengurangkan kadar kemalangan yang berlaku kepada pengguna jalan raya yang lain. Jadi saya harap kepada pihak orang ramai supaya dapat memberikan kerjasama dengan pihak PDRM daripada anggota JSPT saya.
He said the main focus of the festive traffic operation are the North-South Expressway and the East Coast Highway due to the high traffic volume. Police have also identified 76 black spots, which are locations of frequent accidents, and 407 hotspots, which are locations of traffic congestion. Additionally, heavy vehicles are not allowed to be on the road during the duration of the Slamat operation. In the meantime, the speed limit on federal roads nationwide will be reduced from 90 kilometers per hour to 80 kilometers per hour from Tuesday until February 2nd in conjunction with the Chinese New Year celebration. Works Minister Datuk Sri Alexander Nantalinggi said the reduction during the 6-day Bersepadu aims to minimize the risk of road accidents. The minister said that during that period, road repair and maintenance works that are not critical will also be temporarily halted so as to not disrupt traffic flow, while emergency works for the safety of road users will be properly planned. In a statement, he said if necessary, alternative routes will be provided so as to not disrupt the journey of road users. Meanwhile, Nanta advised all road users to be fully prepared for their road trips, and that's including taking care of their health conditions as well as to have sufficient rest before and during their journey to avoid fatigue and sleepiness while driving. He also reminded road users to ensure that their debit, radio frequency identification, RFID, and touch-and-go cards have sufficient funds to avoid causing congestion at toll plazas. Moving on, Ranhill SJ, Sindiran Berhad's former Chief Executive Officer Muhammad Faisal Aliar was charged on Monday with deceiving the company of about 3.38 million ringgit 2 years ago. The 39-year-old accused, however, pleaded not guilty when the charges were read to him before Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court Judge Rosli Ahmad. According to the charges, Faisal was accused of deceiving Ranhill SJ for 2 events which were never held. He He was charged under the Penal Code, which carries a maximum penalty of 10 years jail, whipping, and a fine if convicted. The court set 100,000 ringgit bail with one surety and fixed March 3rd for mention. Malaysia plans to focus on strategic engagements with Free Trade Agreement FTA partners and emerging markets this year in an effort to increase its exports. According to the Investment, Trade and Industry Ministry, the economies of emerging markets have been growing rapidly over the years, including in regions such as Africa, West Asia and Latin America. In addition, the Malaysia External Trade Development Corps, or MATRADE, is actively pursuing opportunities with non-traditional markets that are also Malaysia's FTA partners, such as Peru and Mexico. The benefits of these FTAs include zero-rate tariffs, and preferential market access will make Malaysian products and services more attractive and competitive. Malaysia is also intensifying its outreach to second-tier cities in China and Indonesia as part of the diversification strategy, focusing on cities such as Chongqing, Chengdu, Nanjing, Medan, Surabaya and Pontianak, which are currently undergoing rapid urbanization and economic growth with fast-growing populations that will create huge demands for products and services. A study by management consultants PwC on Monday said the worldwide sales of battery electric vehicles, BEVs, grew to 10.4 million last year, up about 14% from the prior year. Across the 21 markets examined by PwC, China dominated with nearly two-thirds of the volume, specifically 6.7 million BEVs. It also leads in growth with over 20%, significantly above average based on revised figures from the previous year. The U.S. followed with 1.2 million sales and a 7.4% increase, followed by the U.K. with 382,000 BEV sales, a 21% increase from the previous year. Germany, however, fell to fourth place after a 27% collapse in its electric car market to 381,000 cars following the removal of purchase premiums last year. Sales also declined in other European markets such as France, Austria, Italy, Switzerland and Sweden. Hoffenheim rescue point in stoppage time draw. Actions from German Bundesliga after this breather.
Jom. Untuk nikmati rasa Korea sebenar.
Awak ni boleh jadi dark horse tau. You are a complete performer. So saya harap to see more of you.
Saya salute you punya semangat tu. You know, you have a very unique voice.
I saw you keluar, I said, man, for to nyanyi begitu, now that's hebat lah, come on.
Terima pasal sebuah kenderaan asing.
Tiada permit, van Siam masih berani bawa pelancong masuk negara. Saman tertunggak, pemandu tidak ambil pusing.
Ada aman dia tunggu lagi dua. Saya punya di sini? Ya, ikut kami balik jabat dulu, settle saman dulu.
Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
逃げてんじゃねえや。恐れを抱いていた。そうだろう。葵を助けることを優先する。龍が。
警察に任せて。
そんなことしたら葵が危ない。
じゃああんたは。
龍がはどこですか。負け惜しみを言うな。お前は私に負けたんだ。
Roppongi Kelas Minggu akhir Sabtu dan Ahad 7 malam di Yoshi TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Ada inisiatif mendalamkan dan melebarkan Sungai Kelang sepanjang 56 km.
Saya mula menubuhkan satu pasukan khususnya pemburuan ikan bandaraya.
Kehidupan di dalam sungai dah mula ada balik.
Majalah 3 Kapsul Sabtu 10 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headlines.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
We're back with sports badminton. National Coaching Director Rexy Mainaki is encouraged by Man Wei Chong T. Kaiwun's impressive start to the season, having clinched victory at the Indonesia Masters on Sunday. Rexy stated that this is quite a positive start to the season for them, and he hopes that Wei Chong and Kai Wun can maintain their consistency. He also expressed his confidence that the duo's triumph in Indonesia will give them a boost for the season ahead. On January 26th, the world number 13 pair made history by becoming the first Malaysian men's doubles duo to win the Super 500 tournament, defeating Indonesia's fourth-ranked Fajar Alfian Rian Ardianto 21-11, 21-19 in front of an enthusiastic crowd at the Istora Senayan Stadium in Jakarta. Wei Chong Kai-wun's next assignment is the Asia Mixed Team Championships from February 11th to the 16th in Qingdao, China. Moving on to football, the German Bundesliga. A last-gasp equalizer by Adam Hlozek earned Hoffenheim a 2-2 draw with Eintracht Frankfurt at home on Sunday, moving them 4 points clear of relegation zone. The Kraichgauers fell behind on 26 minutes after Kevin Akpoguma conceded a penalty converted by Hugo Ekitike. The home side drew level just after the hour mark through Gift Urban, but the scoreline lasted just 6 minutes after Ekitike grabbed his second goal of the game. It looked as though Hoffenheim would slip to a 10th league defeat of the season, but Hlozek's thumping volley 5 minutes into stoppage time earned them the deserved 2-2 draw. With the result, Hoffenheim now have 18 points from 19 games and sit 14th in the standings. Still on football, the Saudi Pro League. Cristiano Ronaldo was on target again for Al Nassr as his side saw off bottom side Al Fateh 3-1 at home on Sunday. The hosts wasted no time, taking the lead just 4 minutes into the game when Al Fateh's Marwan Sa'dan deflected the ball into his own net. Muhammad Simakan extended their lead in the 57th minute when he headed home Angelo's pinpoint delivery for his first for Al Nassr. The visitors managed to pull one back when Murad Batna pounced on Bento Mateos Krepski's careless pass in the 72nd minute. Al Fateh then increased their pressure for an equalizer, but Ronaldo scored his 15th league goal 3 minutes from time to secure the 3-1 victory, as well as the important 3 points for Al Nassr. The win moved Al Nassr up to third with 35 points, 8 behind leaders Al Ittihad. Thousands of Palestinians return to North Gaza. The details when Nightline returns.
Dah berapa bulan tertunggak ni, macam mana mak nak bayar?
Mak betul ke nak gadaikan cincin kahwin mak ni?
Ini yang tinggal lagi, Indra.
Kita usaha. Nak kita tolong.
Okey. Terima kasih semua. Kejap.
Nah, buat bekal.
Terima kasih, bang.
Apa pula?
Tahniah, anda layak ke peringkat seterusnya.
Setiap cabaran pasti ada kejayaan kalau kita terus usaha.
Saksikan perjalanan peserta-peserta ke episoda One in a Million setiap Ahad 9 malam di TV3.
Memesan sebuah kenderaan asing.
Tiada permit, van Siam masih berani bawa pelancong masuk negara. Saman tertunggak, pemandu tidak ambil pusing.
Ada saman dia tunggu lagi dua.
Saya punya di sana?
Ya, ikut kami balik jabat dulu. Settle saman dulu.
Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Ada inisiatif mendalamkan dan melebarkan Sungai Kelang sepanjang 56 km.
Saya mula menubuhkan satu pasukan khususnya pemburuan ikan bandaraya.
Kehidupan di dalam sungai dah mula ada balik.
Majalah 3 Kapsul, Sabtu 10 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
You got that part di mana kamu bisa menempatkan emosi kamu, mana yang harus ini.
You deliver dengan bagus sekali, dengan emotion you. I boleh rasa, you punya rasa sedih itu I boleh rasa.
Kalau itulah suara demam, kalau tak demam macam mana pula kan? You give it a different twist to it. I think it works. No words.
Unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headlines.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
Thanks for staying with us. After 15 months of genocide, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians returned to North Gaza on Monday as part of a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. The Zionist military earlier announced they would allow the Palestinians to cross Al-Rashid Street by foot starting at 7 a.m. local time and Salah al-Din Street by vehicle from 9 a.m. This comes after Qatar announced that Hamas has agreed to release a female Israeli captive and 2 others by Friday and provided information on the conditions of those set to be freed in the first phase of the ceasefire deal. Palestinians who were seen huddled together and holding their belongings in sacks have now begun heading northwards on foot through the so-called Net Zarim corridor. Drone footage also showed masses of people walking north along the coastal route. However, people traveling in cars face days-long waits at checkpoints. After months of Zionist violence and warfare, displaced Palestinians were finally able to have a sense of peace as they returned home to Gaza City on early Monday morning as part of a ceasefire agreement between Hamas and Israel.
احنا مبسوطين كثير رجعنا عرضنا وعوطنا وعلى غزة وتحية للمجاهدين، تحية لكل واحد جاهد معانا وتحية لكل من ساهم معانا ونصرنا. شكرا لكل حد مد ايده إلنا واحنا مبسوطين كثير اللي روحنا منصورين الحمد لله. صح تعبنا بس اخرتنا انتصرنا. شكرا لكم يا المجاهدين. الله يسلمك يا رب. هبت ريحة الشمال ويا حي الله بأهل الشمال.
كيف الشعور وانت راجع على الشمال؟
مبسوط. ايش يعني ايش؟ مبسوط الحمد لله. يا حي الله بأهل الشمال.
In other news, a preliminary investigation into South Korea's worst aviation disaster has found bird remains in the engines of a plane that crashed in Jeju last month. A 6-page report released on Monday by South Korean authorities said both engines of the Boeing 737-800 jet had DNA from ducks. It also added that bird bloodstains and feathers were found on each engine. However, the report provided no initial conclusions about what may have caused the Jeju airplane to land without its landing gear deployed and why flight data recorders stopped recording in the final 4 minutes of the flight. A probe being conducted by South Korean and U.S. investigators continues. In other news, India and China agreed in principle on Monday to resume direct flights between the two nations nearly 5 years after the COVID-19 pandemic and subsequent political tensions halted them. Now, the announcement came at the conclusion of a visit to Beijing by New Delhi's top career diplomat and heralds the latest signs of a thaw in the frosty ties between the world's two most populous nations. According to a statement from India's foreign ministry, the visit to Beijing had yielded agreement in principle to resume direct air services between the two countries. India's statement also said both sides had agreed to work harder on diplomacy to restore mutual trust and confidence and to resolve outstanding trade as well as economic issues. The Indian Foreign Ministry's trip to the Chinese capital marked one of the most senior official visits since a deadly Himalayan troop clash on their shared border in 2020 sent relations into a tailspin. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look as the world's largest ice and snow theme park, the Harbin Ice Snow World, welcomed more than 2 million visitors 5 weeks after its opening, setting a record high for the annual winter wonder that has delighted guests for 26 years. With that, I'm Sabrina Zainal. Thank you for watching and stay safe.